Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is J.R. Moore coming to you live from deep in the mountains of the Missouri Ozarks on Thursday, the 8th day of February, year of our Lord 2018. Welcome to the John Moore Show. Prep tip of the day. It's a question. Do you have your night vision? Do you have your night vision? Well, right now, getting night vision is relatively simple. Point, click, click at the right website. I'm going to suggest one in a moment here. And that big brown truck from UPS will have it at your door probably in about 3 days. The place I get all my optics, most of my optics, I should say, whether it's night vision or thermal imaging or rifle scopes or binoculars or spotting scopes, is opticsplanet.com. Opticsplanet.com. Very extensive inventory. Good people to do business with. I've had good success with them. I'm sure you will also. So that's your prepper tip today. Get your night vision now while you can. We have patiently in the green room, my friend Tim Spencer. Tim is a husband, a father, a grandfather, a rancher, a veteran of the United States Navy Submarine Corps, and proprietor of the excellent website ruralsurvival.info. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, John. What do you think about this beautiful weather this morning?
Well, it's sunny, and sunshine always makes things look better. It's cold, but it's wintertime. It's supposed to be cold, so no complaints, GI.
Yeah, it's supposed to get up to 50 today or so.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Let me check that weather. I wasn't aware it's going to be that warm.
It's tomorrow, 56.
All right. Yep, it is. 51 degrees, 57 tomorrow is what they're saying for my neighborhood here. Well, sounds like motorcycle weather to me, so that's fine. That's fantastic. Tim, you and I have talked a couple of times this week about the memorandum from the United States Senate that was released Monday morning, just after during or after my show was over. I have high hopes that will lead to some really good things. How about you?
Well, it will have much more impact than what the House released. I really believe that. It's the points it makes are backed up. There's no chance. Well, the Democrats, they can call anything political, but it really isn't political. Everything is backed up, and it lays out the way things are. So, it really details how the FBI took this dossier made by Mr. Steele in the UK and then backed up that dossier with a newspaper article, or not newspaper, Yahoo article that was leaked by the same person that wrote the dossier, and used the two of them as corroboration before the FISA court, knowing full well what they were doing. So they lied to get that
And of course, we now know that of the 11 judges on the FISA court, 10 had been Obama appointees.
Right.
So
in other words, people that were probably looking for an excuse to authorize that warrant.
Right. So the deck was really stacked there, and I don't know who's on that FISA court now, but I hope that those Obama appointees are now gone. I don't know the status of it. Do you have any idea?
No, I don't, John. I really don't.
Well, it's something I'm sure Trump's people have looked at that and are looking at ways to change out those judges so that they're at least neutral, which they should be.
Right. That's what they need, is neutral.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, it's a fast-changing world. The Senate memorandum, really, in my opinion, based on having my knowledge of it, it clearly demonstrates the evidence is showing that there was in fact collusion, but it was the Clinton people and Obama's people colluding with the Russians, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely, it was. There's I believe that has every possibility of being borne out as absolute truth. I'm not sure, with what I understand they've got, I'm not sure that it can be countered politically. Now, it'll be spun, but I don't think it can be countered politically.
Right, right. Well, it needs to happen. Along similar lines, political lines, Nancy Pelosi apparently yesterday gave an 8-hour speech, which is the longest one uh, in Congress since 1909. Um, so, and
That
she did it.
actually surprised me that she was physically capable of doing that.
It apparently surprised a lot of people, and something was made of the fact that she was wearing 4-inch high heels at the time as well. Um,
Wow.
so, well, she's playing to her audience, isn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah, she is. You know, she's got to have all those California votes from illegal aliens. You know, I
Right.
think that's what'll keep her in office for another term.
Yeah, she can't. She cannot turn her back on her audience, the people that elect her, the people she's accountable to, because she needs those illegal aliens voting and becoming
Right.
voters. Uh, Pretty sad state of affairs.
It
Well,
is.
so I don't know. Was this 8 hour? Did she have uh, a bio break or time to get a sandwich, or what was that? 8 hours
I don't know. I
continuous?
didn't read the article. I just saw the headline
Okay.
on Drudge. I did not read the article.
Yeah.
So I truly don't know. I just
I
remember
don't.
when I saw the article, I was thinking to myself, you know, that's, pretty incredible of a woman her age being able to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, a woman. Excuse me. A woman of any age.
Yes.
So, well, I don't know the details either. If she was able to take 5 minute break here and there or not. There was a national news story about 10 years ago in the St. Louis City. Um, they were having a city council meeting, and a black female couldn't leave the floor without compromising her political position, and she had to urinate, and 4 or 5 people surrounded her while she urinated into a wastebasket. That was
Oh
national
boy.
news. Yeah, it was pretty disgusting. That was
Yeah.
national news about 10 years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, something like that. And it was pretty disgusting, yes. Um, well, moving on from there, the what do you make of these Olympics going on in Korea?
Well, right now they're having some significant problems with that Nova virus thing. The South Korean military has stepped in place of the private security force they had of 1,200. Apparently, quite a percentage of them are sick, and they're worried about the security forces spreading the bug. So the military stepped in. I'm assuming that's only going to be temporary, but I don't know. I don't think they know.
Right. Right.
Everything I'm hearing it says protests by South Koreans. I don't know if it's a minority or majority, but it's a good amount of people protesting North Korea being invited to participate with South Korea as one entity in the game. So a lot of the South Korean athletes have been kicked off their teams to make room for the North Koreans, and a lot of people are not happy about that.
Oh, I
And
bet.
I can't blame them. You know, here they train 4 or 8 years, for, one day event, and then they get booted off by the enemy.
No, that
Through
decision should have been
no
made
fault of their own.
Right. That decision should have been made 4 years ago, not on the spot. That's very unfair to the athletes.
I agree, and that's the way the
Right.
South Korean people see it also.
Yeah, that would be heartbreaking. I've never trained at that level, but I've trained to be in athletics, and it would be absolutely heartbreaking to have that happen for political reasons.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, along the
Have you
lines
been
of
paying any attention? Oh, I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
no, paying attention to what?
Syria, with Turkey putting pressure on U.S. forces now.
Well, they're putting pressure on U.S. forces that are helping some of these. There's one of these Kurdish groups. I know there's at least 2 Kurdish groups I'm
Right.
aware of.
The YPG are the ones that we're embedded with right now.
I think the YPG are the communists, aren't they?
I don't know. I know they're designated as terrorist group by both
Well,
Turkey and the U.S.
well, one of them is one of these Kurdish groups is communist Marxist, and the other one is not. Is my recollection on that. Um, and of course, the Turks have been at odds and at war with the Kurds for decades, if not longer.
Right.
I guess since the breakup of the Ottoman Empire, that's when all that kind of started falling apart. The Ottomans didn't tolerate anything other than what they wanted, so they kept the peace for 6 centuries, with brute force, of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, that really, John, if you're honest, that's in that part of the world, that's the only thing that works is brute force.
Yeah, and the rest of the Western world wanted to be polite and have empathy and so forth, doesn't recognize that reality, but that is reality and has been for centuries. The Ottoman Empire ruled that part of the world for 6 centuries, ending in 1917 when the World War I ended. The Ottoman Empire picked the wrong side to be on. They picked the Axis side of the. Is that what they call the opposition in World War I? The Axis.
I don't know, John. I know it is during World War II, but I don't know about World War I.
Well, regardless, they were allied with Germany, and they lost, and they lost their empire. And the British came in there and split up the Ottoman Empire into all the countries that we now recognize there in the Middle East.
Correct.
Yes, and that's an unfortunate reality, but it is reality that brute force is the only thing that works in the Middle East.
It is.
Now there's different levels of brute force, from relatively mild and benign in Jordan to absolute monarchy in Saudi Arabia, for example, to the insanity they've got in Iran, and so forth. And we've talked about this before, but Saddam Hussein was certainly not the worst dictator in the Middle East by far, was he?
Oh, no, not at all. No, he really wasn't. Neither was Muammar Gaddafi. They tried to demonize Gaddafi so much, but as far as the standard of living that he provided for his people in Libya, I mean, it was some of the best in the region.
It was.
Free medical, free education, a stipend from the government monthly. The people in Libya really had a good life.
Wasn't there when a young couple got married, there was some kind of marriage bonus also for them?
I believe there was. I know I read about that, John, but I don't remember the particulars of it.
Well, he was certainly taking care of his people, and they had a very desirable standard of living compared to a place like Egypt, which is basically most of Egypt smells like urine, of course. Everybody I've talked to.
Don't be there when it rains.
Everybody I've talked to says it's one of the most disgusting places on the planet. But one guy says, you haven't been to Mongolia yet.
I've never been there, so I can't talk.
Well, apparently Mongolia is even more disgusting than Egypt is. Now, I was talking to some people yesterday I was visiting with about India and how the Indian government started building these concrete privies, latrines, out in the outlying areas of India and these various villages, and how the villagers in these don't use the concrete latrines for the intended purpose. They use them for storage, and they still relieve themselves out in the fields.
Yeah, that I believe. I didn't know that, but I believe it.
Yeah, they think it. And they interviewed this one guy, and he was an officer in the military, and he thought it was healthier to relieve yourself out in the open field than to use a latrine. And I've had people criticize me for saying most of the world, except for Western Europe and the United States and Canada, smells like urine. But that's
true.
It is. Well, Japan, obviously. Japanese are very clean people. But yes, most of the world does smell like urine, and that's just an unfortunate fact of life. The people I was visiting with yesterday, I said, there's over 7 billion people on this planet. Half of those people will never see a flush toilet up close and personal during their lifetime, let alone occupy a space, a premises, a home that has a flush toilet. And that's my reality. How about you, Tom?
Well, yeah, you're right. And many of those same people will never see, running water coming out of a well, or, a water system piped into their home, or even a spigot in their yard. Many of those people will never see that.
Well, I've heard from I'm in the American Legion. Some of the Legionnaires, World War II guys, and of course most of them passed, but they would say, John, we met some Russians in Germany, towards the end of the war, and they thought that if they took a faucet off a wall, they could attach it someplace else, and water would come out of that faucet then at another location. They had never seen water come out of a faucet from a wall before, ever.
Right.
And
I think Russia's finally caught up.
Well, most of Russia.
Yeah.
Is once you're away from the cities in Russia into the outlying areas, you're basically back to gravel roads and no electricity. And the majority of the 13 time zones, there's 24 time zones, and Russia covers 13 time zones.
Yes, they do.
And what an amazing place. Well, Tim, I need to ask you, do you have any of those marvelous flash drives in stock ready for shipment?
Yes, I do. I've got about 9 or 10 of them right now ready to go.
Okay. More than 1,500 books and publications, and a home library on a flash drive. And the index is at your website, and you can, of course, make a purchase at your website at ruralsurvival.info. But the 75-page index is there also, so people can find out what's on the flash drive and make a decision, can't they?
Yeah, they can. All the folks have to do is click on that picture, that red and black flash drive that's on the right-hand side of every page on ruralsurvival.info, and it takes them to the page, tells all about it. Up near the top, there's a link. Basically, it says index, and it's a PDF file. Just download that, and everybody can see what they're getting before they buy. And I think people will be thoroughly impressed if they take the time to do that.
Outstanding. I encourage people to do that. Tim, the folks I was visiting with yesterday, we were talking about different things, and the topic of Muslims came up, and this woman mentioned a Muslim-owned and operated restaurant in her hometown, and she said people kept getting sick, and a lot of people were getting sick. So finally, the health department came in, and they found feces everywhere in there, human feces everywhere, in trace amounts, and they shut the place down.
Oh, good.
Yeah, here's our break. Call number is 800-313-9443. Gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. As most of you know, my regular listeners, I offer energy cleaners for sale at my website. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, go to my website, thelibertyman.com. Educate yourself about these marvelous healing devices. We focus on pain mitigation and getting a great night's sleep. Arthritis pain, joint pain, back pain, doesn't matter. Keep in mind, I offer from me to you personally a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's what I do. Energy cleaners, $285, shipping included to American zip codes. You can educate yourself all about the energy cleaner right there at my website, the patent application, the wonderful testimonials. Be sure and check out the factory-made fitted mattress pads to go with the energy cleaner. Now, I offer from me to you personally a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's what I do. I have a toll-free order line, or you can order it right at my website at thelibertyman.com. That toll-free order line is 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. It's taken 3 years before I could offer the inter-shelter domes for sale. During those 3 years, several different governments and militaries were taking all their production. The inter-shelter dome homes may be just what you've been looking for to provide affordable, energy-efficient, permanent, and attractive housing. These dome homes are prefabricated units that can be assembled in a few hours by 2 men with a ladder and simple hand tools. Check out the photos of these dome homes built in the Arctic, on tropical beaches, in suburban areas, and in forests. All the details, many photographs, and the pricing of the dome homes are listed on the left-hand side of my homepage at thelibertyman.com. I think you'll find these homes are not only attractive, but they're energy efficient, and a bonus. You can disassemble them and reassemble them as many times as you feel you need to. Pretty great, huh? Something that's very, very unique. Check them out at my website at thelibertyman. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th day of February. This would be an exciting time to be in the Department of Justice or a patriot, a true patriot in the FBI, wouldn't it?
It would be, what's the Chinese curse, interesting?
Yeah. I've known and worked with various FBI agents off and on for decades. I've known them to be patriotic young men, maybe sometimes not so young men, and wanting to do the right things for the right reason, and very humiliated at some of the wrong things, such as what took place at Waco, Texas. Very humiliated that the agency had did such a thing, but and I know that they're waiting in the wings, licking their lips to get the FBI back on the right track and doing the right things for the right reasons after a good, thorough house cleaning. What do you think?
I think you're right, John. I don't know if there's as many, quote, good ones as there were when you and I were playing in those circles, but yeah, there's still some good ones. There's got to be.
Well, the majority of men and women who join the FBI, they do it for the right reasons. They want to help their country be safe. They want to protect the country from criminals and terrorists.
Right.
Now, obviously, of course, it's human nature that many are going to join the FBI looking for a good career and a good pension. That's a given. Of course it is, on one hand. Yeah, I have great hopes that this will, these events that took place in the last week, it'll be a week ago tomorrow that the House memorandum was released. And of course, the Senate memorandum was released this past Monday. Yes, it's a lot of potential there for a lot of good and a good thorough house cleaning that will hopefully carry the FBI into several decades into the future, with good people doing the right thing for the agency and for our people in our country.
Oh, absolutely. Like we were talking about last night, John. The question I have is, how does the system clean out the bad players? And one of my ideas, and I don't know if it's practical, was, everybody that's been in the FBI more than, 10 years, let them go, and with the chance of being rehired when they reapply and, background checks are done and all that. I don't know if that's an answer, but it would be a starting point.
It would be. It would be. Well, I'm not so sure. You would that firing everybody who's been there that length of time or longer. You're gonna throw out the good with the bad is what's going to happen there.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about such a large agency. I don't know if there's any other way to do it.
It would be tough. It would be tough. I wouldn't want to have to be the one making those decisions. I really wouldn't.
Me neither.
No. Of course, you could always do something like was done when Homeland Security was created. They transferred out all the deadwood from every government federal agency into Homeland Security,
Yeah, they did. You're right about that.
And it
Actually, that
paralyzed
was just an ending joke, John. It really was.
Yeah, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the biggest agency created since the Department of Defense in World War II. And
Right.
It basically, the Homeland Security was paralyzed by all these people who had come out, had been transferred from these other agencies who were basically deadwood and couldn't be gotten rid of otherwise.
Right.
Oh, well.
You're correct. I remember when that was going on, I heard a lot of inside jokes about that. We got rid of so-and-so.
They were true. The jokes were true. That's exactly what happened. Oh, well. Yeah, a lot of hope, a lot of concern. The stock market's been doing wild up and down gyrations this past week since beginning last Friday, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we're going to need to talk about that after the top of the hour when we get done with Tom and the Energy Cleaner.
Right.
I've got a few insights that might be helpful on that, mainly based on what I was told many years ago, which, just to preface what I was going to talk about, was that, I was always warned that when what we're seeing now happens, that's what indicates the beginning of the crash. I mean, the real crash.
Right.
So, we might need to get into that after the top of the hour.
Right. Well, we got about an hour break coming up here. Then we spend my favorite 24 minutes a week talking about a marvelous healing product. Here's our break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We're continuing our Energy Cleaner promotion, which began August of 2016. In this promotion, you get to buy an Energy Cleaner, $70 off retail, and a mattress pad, 10% off retail. $200 of the purchase price of the Energy Cleaner goes to Republic Broadcasting. This is a great way to help get energy cleaners out to people who need them and have some financial issues to deal with. And, of course, a great way to support Republic Broadcasting. Here's what you do. Send in a postcard. My address is John Moore, P.O. Box 201, Davidsville, Missouri. We pick a postcard every 2 weeks. If your postcard is drawn, you get the chance to buy the Energy Cleaner, $70 off retail, and 10% off the mattress pads. Put your name and your address, your telephone number, and your email address on the postcard, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th of February. This is the 24 minutes I look forward to every week, the 24 minutes where we take some time to educate and inform you about a marvelous healing device called the Energy Cleaner. We begin these conversations with my friend Tom Berryhill, the manufacturer of the Energy Cleaner, giving us our disclaimer. Good morning, Tom.
Hi, John. Good morning. We are not doctors or medical professionals. We don't diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease. The information discussed today is for your education and entertainment only. If you have a medical condition requiring treatment, you should utilize the services of a medical doctor, chiropractor, or other competent practitioner.
All right. Well, we're doing a little experiment at the little country church I'm going to, gentlemen. We got several gardeners that attend the church, and I've loaned an Energy Cleaner to one of them to use for their seedlings that they're growing for tomatoes and other things. And here's what they'll be doing. They'll be setting up an even number of seedlings on one side, say 10 or 15 on one table with the energy cleaner signal, and then equal amount of seedlings on another table without the energy cleaner signal, both getting the same amount of sunlight, both getting the same amount of water, and to have a control group without the signal and the experimental group that gets the signal. So they haven't started yet. It's still a bit too early. In the meantime, they're going to be using the energy cleaner on their bed to help with other issues that they're dealing with personally. And it's going to be a fun experiment, and as it starts up and progresses, I'll be reporting here every Thursday the progress on this little experiment. It'll be a lot of fun, and you've already done this, Tim, yourself, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I have. I definitely have. And I think that within 10 days or less, they will see, noticeable results in the difference. I mean, there's really no doubt in my mind what's going to happen.
That's right. All right, no doubt in my mind either, because we've seen these results before, and they will be observable, testable, and repeatable. So a lot of fun coming up for these folks, and they'll be pleasantly surprised, won't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a marvelous healing device. It's called the Energy Cleaner. If you haven't been exposed to this information before, well, here's your heads up. First of all, it's not a TENS unit. It's not a Rife machine, frequency generator, entirely different technology. I had an email from a guy the other day who's inquiring how to measure the voltage coming out of the mattress pad, and I said, there is no voltage. It's a signal, and you can't measure it as you would voltage. The signal that comes out of the energy cleaner is an electrostatic signal similar to a radio signal. That's the closest thing that people can understand. That signal goes to every cell in your body, flushing out toxins, bringing in fresh nutrition. That's how it works. And that's how it mitigates pain, whether you've got joint pain, arthritis pain, back pain. That's how it works. Not getting a great night's sleep, it helps in that area also. And like we were talking about earlier, it'll help your plants grow, not just the seedlings, but the plants out there growing in the garden, won't they, Tom?
Oh, yeah, John, like you wouldn't believe. Many people have reported 2 and 3 times the growth rate. And the size of the vegetables sometimes are much larger. I've seen tomatoes that were just absolutely huge, and they tasted great, thanks to the help of the energy cleaner.
That's right. That's right. Well, the energy cleaner is only $285, shipping included, and as of the first of this year, I'm now offering, from me to you personally, a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're risking nothing when you get the energy cleaner.
Back up, John, 90 days now.
Did I say 30? Yeah, I said
yes.
30 for so long. As of the first year, a 90-day money-back guarantee. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. 90-day money-back guarantee. And out of the hundreds and hundreds that I sell, I get about one a quarter back. About every 3 months, sometimes every 4 months, I'll get one shipped back, and I always wonder, did this guy or this gal actually use it? That's what I wonder. So, it's a lot of fun helping people get their life back. Tim Spencer got his life back. You were on the verge of becoming, we already were, I would say, incapacitated to a certain level, weren't you, Tim?
Oh, I was. I had to have help with almost everything, especially stairs, especially getting in and out of the shower, the bathtub, getting in and out of bed. I mean, those 3 things were my biggies. Those were where I would sit for 5 minutes and decide, how am I going to navigate down the stairs this time with the least amount of pain and the least chance of falling? I mean, I would actually sit and think about it before I did it.
Right.
It was that bad.
Yep, and the General Blackjack Pershing BA Center down there in the southern part of the state was starting to look like your future home, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. They had a program at the time, I don't know if they still do, but where you could go there 5 days a week as a patient, inpatient. They didn't make you wear hospital clothes or nothing, but you basically just lived there, and then you were supposed to go home on the weekends. Well,
right.
We both know what the end result of going home on the weekends would be.
Yeah. Well, let's start out every weekend, and cut down to maybe 3 weekends a month, and then
Right.
finally to the point where you'd be going home on holidays only,
Right.
if that.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of life.
Right, it is. So you didn't do that. You got the energy cleaner. You started feeling relief within days, and
Right.
and by the following summer, that was in the fall. By the following summer, you were riding your ponies and climbing radio towers, weren't you?
Oh, I was, absolutely. And I plan on getting back to that again as soon as I get my new leg.
Right. Well, that whole saga began about a year ago this week, didn't it?
Well, it was March 15th of last year, and I get the first deal where they start be setting me up for my new leg is March 15th of this year.
What a year it's been. What a
yes.
year it's been. Absolutely.
I'm glad it's almost over.
Well, we all are, Tim, and we've all been praying for you and for optimal outcome at every point of the way. But getting back to the energy cleaner, it's about the size of a cigar box. Takes 9 D as in Delta, 9 D cell batteries. No on-off switch, no gauges, no dials. Simply one place to plug in one wire. And it could be a wire coming from the mattress pads that I sell. And then there's an LED light that alternately flashes red or green, telling you two things. First of all, it's working. The second of all, it's changing polarity. The device is as simple as a brick, at least on the outside to the operator, isn't it, Tom?
Yes, John, it's real simple to use. One wire to connect to your pad or whatever you're going to use to radiate the healing signal. And there's no on-off switch. We made it this way so that everybody can use it. There's no trouble with trying to figure out what to do. I mean, it's so simple. Really, almost anybody can hook it up and use it. And it's as soon as you receive your energy cleaner in the mail, you can unbox it and put it to use right away. Put your batteries in, you're ready to go.
Absolutely. And the batteries you recommend are the carbon zinc batteries, similar to the ones the house brand they sell at the dollar store. Yes, so go for it. We do everything we can to inform people, educate them, take the edge off it with a 90-day money-back guarantee, make it easy to buy it with PayPal. PayPal, of course, now takes payments if you live in the USA, MasterCard, Visa. You can do all those things right there at my website at thelibertyman.com. You can call my toll-free R line. I have a toll-free R line. It's 800-592-9543. Well, Tim, I'll be talking to Steve Whitman here in the next couple of days. I want to get him on about once a month. It'll be, we haven't had him on this month yet, and have him tell his story as well as promote his new book. Do both those things. And all these things fit together. A guy buys an energy cleaner saves his life. He starts talking about it. I encourage him to write an article and publish it at your website. He has so much success with that he decides to become an author, and he's now published. I got a stack of books here. Here's, 4 or 5 of them. I'm not. So he's.
I think
it's funny how life works out, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'm a great observer of things like that, just for my own education/entertainment. I like to watch how things develop and then review it in my mind, and it's very interesting how everything came together for Steve. It's just incredible. And then to top it off, the extra benefit of his wife getting cured of lupus, I mean, that was just incredible.
It is. An unexpected bonus, unintended consequence. Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know when I'll get to Maine. I would like to think I would get up there during the warm weather this year, but I'm not in a position to make any kind of commitment right now. But I would love to get together in person with Steve and his wife and, be able to see their fish camp up there and visit with them a little bit.
I'd love to.
Yeah, I've never been to Maine.
On ruralsurvival.info, on his page, on his author's page, there's probably 15 pictures of his fish camp, John. I don't know if you've ever seen those pictures, but it is absolutely beautiful. I would love to be there and go there. I'd like to drop a line in the water, honestly.
Right, right. Well, I'm not a fisherman myself, but I would love to be up there in that beautiful location and spend some time and check out the whole area. It would be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We got a question or comment about the energy cleaner. If you use an energy cleaner yourself, give us a call at 800-313-9443. We had Dr. Joe call last week, and that caught a few people off guard. That we have a medical doctor who's bought 5 energy cleaners, and he had such a perky, upbeat tone to his voice, didn't he, Tim?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. In fact, Dr. Joe calls in on my show regularly, and, he's a really good guy. In fact, his daughter is in medicine, too. He was telling me that they just did a rotation together here recently. When I say recently, past several months, working at the same place. I've never asked him how that went, but I said it went very well knowing him.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun. How gratifying to be able to have your child follow in your footsteps to take the same career path that you were on. That would be so gratifying. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And energy cleaner helps make it happen. He uses the energy cleaner. His children use the energy cleaner. Now he's got one for his dog. It's just the whole family.
I was going to say his lab uses
it. Yeah. The whole family's using energy cleaners, and that's not extraordinary. I'm seeing that more and more, where I'll get an order in, and I notice that, the ship to address is different than the ordered from address. So this person is obviously buying it for somebody they care about, and it's being shipped to a different location than the premises where the buyer lives, and he's helping people get healthy, isn't he, when they do that?
Oh, yeah. He is. There's no question about that.
None at all. None at all. And you can also, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about energy cleaner procrastinators. It's become kind of a mantra here on the John Moore Show, and people kind of make fun of it, and they should. It's funny on one hand, and it's serious on another. The procrastinators are the ones that haven't yet started on the road to recovery, right, Tim?
Yeah, they are. And there can be all kinds of reasons for procrastinating. Probably money is the biggest one. But, folks, I'm telling you, the amount of time that you go without getting one, you're really hurting yourself, nobody else. You're not hurting John or me or Tom, but you're, hurting yourself by going without. And that's
right.
Really the only way I know how to put it, guys.
Well, and here's one of the things about the energy cleaner. It may appear to be a financial sacrifice right now, on one hand. On the other, once you get the energy cleaner, you'll find you'll have more energy and be having a better success in whatever your chosen career might be, which for most people, most of the time, would mean more income, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I look at myself, several years ago when I was still very active, cutting wood every day, working on, heavy equipment and stuff like that. And some of the things I would do, I'd be hurting so bad that I would actually, cancel out the next day's work the night before because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it. And then once I got a hold of that energy cleaner, it took so much pressure off me because 90% of the time, I'd be fine the next day. It really is that much of a difference.
All right. So what appears to be a great hardship now to sacrifice the money actually has a big bonus in the increased energy, increased productivity that people would experience, and it would quickly pay for itself under those circumstances, wouldn't it, Tim?
Well, if you were like me, work on one tractor or cut one, load of logs, you paid for it in one day.
There you go. We got a caller on hold here. We got Tony in North Dakota. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, John and Tom, and I just wanted to kind of give you an update as to my experience with the energy cleaner, which has been unbelievable. I am blind, not totally, but I see very little, just light and dark. But something has happened here in the last few weeks with me. I haven't seen color or objects in years. I'm seeing color and I'm seeing objects. I see my hands for the first time in years. Now, I don't know if it's the energy cleaner. I can't prove that because I take Extendivite and the energy cleaner. That's the only thing I take. I take no other medications, nothing else. Nothing's changed in my life with those two things. So, I've never heard of a reversal in retinitis pigmentosa. Never. It always deteriorates into a black oblivion. I'm seeing a reversal. I'm seeing things I used to see about 5 years ago.
My goodness.
I can't tell you how that feels. I'm surprised. I went to the store with my wife the other day, and I walk around with a white cane. I said, "Is that orange in color?" And I said, "She said, yeah. How do you know?" I said, "Well,
Yeah.
I see it."
Right.
And so I haven't seen orange or red or yellows or any of those things. I have seen that in the last few weeks. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an update. I can't prove it. But something has happened.
What's the Extendivite? How long have you been taking the Extendivite?
Since December.
Okay.
About the time things stayed, but I started with the energy cleaner October.
Okay.
When I got it from you.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, that's the timeline. I'll let you take it. Katie Zero. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, Tony. Thank you for calling. We got a break.
Yep, bye.
We'll be right back. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th of February. Yes, we are talking about the energy cleaner. We take 24 minutes a week to talk about the energy cleaner. It's helped so many thousands of people at this point get their health back, get their life back. Most of the time, we don't hear back from them, as Tom has said a number of times. They get their life back. They want to get back to whatever activities they want to be doing and have been missing out on for years, sometimes decades. And we don't hear from them, do we, Tom?
No, we don't. But, John, to make a few comments here on your last caller, Tony, I have heard from several people over the years that they were just thrilled to report that they believed their eyesight was getting better. And in one case, an optometrist told this gentleman that his eyesight had improved since his last visit, and they were monitoring him for various changes in his eyesight. I don't remember all the details, but it actually improved after he started using the energy cleaner. The only thing I can... Oh, and by the way, I really feel that the Extendivite is an excellent product. And, John, you know... Oh, it really is. And when you're using any kind of a supplement and you use the energy cleaner along with that, it will actually amplify the effect. It will very efficiently get that product into every cell in your body. It just helps with the delivery of that supplement. So perhaps that's what's happening in Tony's case. He's got he's getting benefits from both technologies, Extendivite and the energy cleaner, working together to help him. And, I hope Tony continues to report in because, if with continued use, he may regain a lot of his sight. I mean, it may be an amazing thing for him. So we'll just have to keep working with it. Time will tell.
I know Tony's listening. Tony, if you have access to a bathtub or a hot tub, the bathtub method will amplify this even more. An hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon or evening. Fill up the tub with comfortably warm water. Attach a metal spoon to the alligator clip with the energy cleaner signal. Keep the energy cleaner dry. And drop that spoon in the water and just get down that water up to your neck. The hot tub, same thing. Turn the temperature down to 98 degrees so you can tolerate it. And spend a whole hour in there, twice a day, if you have access to a hot tub. The longer, the better. With a regular bathtub, you have to keep adding hot water because it'll cool down in 15 or 20 minutes. But just keep doing it and spend up to an hour in there in that signal, and you'll be immersed in that signal, won't you, Tom?
That's correct. That's really one of the best methods to use with the energy cleaner. I also tell people that when you're in the tub, if you don't have a hot tub where you can be immersed all the way up to your neck, you can simply take a towel and get it soaked in the water and leave part of the towel in the water, and then get that saturated towel up over your torso all the way up to your neck, and that will also carry that signal right out of the water and right up your chest. So it works great. And another comment, John, on sight problems, vision problems. Many times people have trouble with their optic nerve, and I know for a fact that the energy cleaner has helped many people that have suffered from various types of nerve damage. We don't know exactly why, but it seems that the energy cleaner has helped to perhaps regenerate or speed up the regeneration of those nerves. Many years ago, about maybe 25 years ago, I injured a finger, industrial accident, and there was almost no feeling in that finger. I started using the energy cleaner, and it took about 6 months, but that finger is totally back to normal now. I have
Amazing.
Perfect feeling.
Tom, we're out of time. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, John.
Okay, we're at top of the hour break. We'll continue after the top of the hour break. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th of February. Prep tip of the day. It's a question. Do you have your night vision? Do you? Well, if you don't, this might be the ideal time to get it. And during a crisis, especially a long-term crisis, you're not going to get any night vision. It's just simply not going to happen. So get it now while you can. Make sure it's working properly, and keep it packed in a Faraday cage so the electronics won't be damaged, or an EMP, and then it will be there when you need it. That's your prepper tip of the day. We have Tim Spencer with us the second hour. Tim and I were going to discuss the events of the day. All right. Let's get back to the topic you wanted to discuss there, Tim.
Well, okay, here's the deal, John. I don't remember. It was 10 years or more ago, and this is the bad part of my memory. I honestly don't remember who told me, but it was somebody I respected, I know that told me that to watch out when we saw these large gyrations in the market, up 500, down 500, and back up again all in one day type thing. And this is what we're seeing right now. And I was always told that this is when to be on the lookout for, the house of cards to come tumbling down on the market. Now, what we got to remember is the market and the economy are not synonymous. The reality is most people, the average guy on the street, doesn't own that much in stocks. He might have a 401k or a mutual fund. But, the majority of people, whatever the stock market does, is not really going to hurt. What makes the difference is like the headlines on Drudge right now, which is, jobless claims at 45-year low. That's the type of thing that makes a difference. The unemployment rate, but it's just something I believe for people to be aware of that, hey, there's, a significant possibility that the markets can go tits up. It's that simple. It can all fall apart.
Right,
and with today's trading, as fast as it's done, on the microsecond level, they can have what they call a flash crash. In other words, by the time you or I hear about it and get to call our broker or get logged on to Scottrade or whatever, it's all over. Everything's all over but the crying. So,
that's right. That's right. We talked about that yesterday, but yes. These modern technology has changed everything in terms of how quickly and how much things can be traded, right?
Right. It has. And that's the reason you can see these huge fluctuations. Now, most of the exchanges have what's called circuit breakers. And all they are is actually, computer stops that when X stock or the market as a whole drops below this level or climbs above this level, everything's put on hold. I think it's first for 2 minutes, then for 5, then for 15, and then for the day or something like that. I'm not sure those are the exact numbers, but it's something along those lines.
Right. Well, the people are, when they see these wild gyrations in the stock market, it scares people. It upsets them. They really don't know what's going on or why.
Right.
And vast fortunes are made and lost instantly, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And you see, that's the bad thing about the market, in my opinion. Yes, it's a casino. However, what is even a bigger risk, in my opinion, than just betting on whether or not an individual stock or asset of whatever kind will do good or bad, is the emotion factor. I mean, that is what really can't be guessed at. At what point do people as a whole become collectively scared and dump everything and make the value of the asset drop, or the cost of the asset, not the value, but the cost of the asset drop precipitously? And, emotion is something you can guess at, but that's all you can do. And
that's right.
There's a lot of people that trade on emotion, and that is the way to get poor real quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is a way to get poor real quick.
Yeah.
And most people, I was hearing a quote yesterday, we've heard it before, the majority of people buy high and sell low, don't they?
Yeah, a majority of them do. And, I'll use Bitcoin as a perfect example, because that's something, it's a single product. You can track it continuously. They've got people screaming right now, it's down to 9,000. Well, the way I look at it, if you bought in when it was time to get in, which I didn't have the money to do, even though I knew about it, 9,000's no big deal because you bought it at $2 a unit.
Right. Well, when I first
the people that bought it at 15,000, yeah, they're crying because it's down to 9. The good part is it will go back up.
Yeah. Well, it's a volatile market. I know people that are active in it. It's something I choose not to participate in myself. But if you want to, hey, go for it,
Well, if I'd had the money when I first heard about Bitcoin, I ain't gonna lie to you, John, I'd be a multimillionaire right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
$1, well, if I remember correctly, $1 invested in, I want to say 2009, is now worth $1,100,000.
Right. Well, I haven't looked into it for a while, but I know there was some issues about converting that cryptocurrency into real money or into something like a new Ford pickup truck. That seemed to be an issue.
Yeah, but it's not anymore because your car dealerships, most of them accept Bitcoin. In fact,
do they really?
Major banks are. There was just an apartment building in New York City, and I want to say it sold, I believe it was 6,954 Bitcoins it sold for. And transaction went through perfectly.
Amazing.
And that was a multi-million-dollar deal.
Amazing. Well, I obviously haven't kept up with it. I've been distracted with other things. And, well, there's an old saying, you shouldn't invest in things you don't understand, right?
Right. Well, that is true. I finally have a handle on it, but I'm not going to invest in it, mainly because I'd rather buy food. It's that simple.
Right.
So there is some things out there that have struck my interest. One of them is what they call the 1776 token, and it is a Patriot-based clientele. And right now, their initial coin offering is 25 cents a unit, and you get 10 tokens just for signing up with them. So I signed up with that. Anybody's interested in it, just go to my website, ruralsurvival.info, on the main page, and there's an ad for it. Click on that, and it'll take you right where you need to go.
Okay.
And, everybody can read everything about it. I don't get anything out of it, It's just,
here we got
a good deal.
We got a couple of callers on hold here. Let's get to these callers.
Okay.
First we go to Rick in Missouri. Good morning, Rick.
Well, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Morning, Rick.
Okay. Good morning. I essentially agreed, gentleman's agreement with my wife, if you can have such a thing, that I would not talk to you guys about anything financial related. I am, and here I am. I apparently am not worth. Well, somebody better earn some money. Yeah, so we, here's the deal. I mean, I am incredibly uncomfortable offering anybody financial advice, but I will tell you this. Alzheimer's, you might not be able to remember yesterday, but I can remember 2007 Crystal. And this is my youngest son now has his brokerage license, and the entire family, regardless of what I say, again, is on fire. They don't want to miss out on all of these wonderful deals in the stock market. And I'm talking, Centene, and they even think they're going to buy GE on the dip. GE's getting ready to get their butt sued off by Germany for all the 3-blade wind generators that don't work. And and I wouldn't touch GE with a cattle prod. So, I'm just saying, the last time I saw this kind of irrational exuberance, we had, you're getting stock tips from your barista, and somebody is starting to raise interest rates. They raised, I think it was, what's his name, Bernanke? No, not Bernanke. The other dude raised interest rates 16 times in a row. So that, of course, began what was for everybody about a 60% haircut. The only thing that I would say about that is now the debt is twice as heavy, and the derivatives market has reached $1 quadrillion, which we did not have that before. So
no, we didn't.
I don't want to, and there are a lot of geniuses out there that are suggesting at this point that this crash won't look anything like 07, 08, and that may or may not be true. But I want to caution everybody, you were right about the emotional factor. They say the market runs off the fuel of fear and greed. And I would, if you're getting emotional and thinking you're missing out on all the free money, you better watch out, because that's generally a warning sign that something ugly is about to happen. And that right, evaporates, and people think, all my money's gone. No, your money's not gone. Somebody else just got your money. That's what happens during these. This is how they shear sheep. This is how the casino of Wall Street, basically they get everybody into the pen. When they close the gate, that's when everybody gets sheared. And then, 5 or 10 years later, they can't even remember it. And I can't believe it. So I just wanted to caution everybody, if you think you're missing out, I'm not sure that's the case. So just be cautious.
Right. That's good
advice.
All right,
you guys, that was all. Yes.
Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you for the call. Next, we go to John in Tennessee. Good morning, John.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to build on what the previous caller just said. I hope I don't understand either one of you to say basically that the economy is accidental. You're not saying that, right? No. I mean, we understand that it is manipulated, that the market is moved up and down by people with wealth that we could only imagine, and they understand the game. The casino, the house always wins, and they own the house. People that are running the stock market own the house. So basically what I'm saying is that, and even Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin is a con in my opinion. Let me clarify this, saying in my opinion, Bitcoin is a con. It is a valueless, just like fiat currency. The only value that's given is what is proposed or supposed or given by the ability to purchase with it. It has no value. So it's not the solution. We got to understand money, like the previous caller said, when you lose in the market, you're getting someone else's money. Someone has to lose for you to win, and vice versa.
That is correct.
And it is like a river. Money's going to go somewhere. So we need to understand that it's all, look, if I had a lot of money, I could buy stock and make a price go up overnight. $5 a share if I had the inclination to do it. And tomorrow I can sell it after everyone else buys in, because look what it's doing. It's gone up. It's going to go up. And then you dump all your stock and it drops. And all the money that the people put in is given up. It's It's a crazy, crazy scenario. So the best thing to do, don't be in the market. Get into a 401k if you feel like you need to, but realize when it all comes down to it, you're going to lose it anyway. When they collapse the economy or the stock market crashes, 401ks go with it. Paper, silver, and gold certificates go with it.
Right. Well, if you use your 401k and invest in physical gold and physical silver, I'm not talking about GLD and SLV paper, but I mean the physical hold in your hand stuff, you still get the tax benefits, but you're the one that actually has physical possession of the object of wealth, which would be gold or silver.
You can do that, and I agree. You can do that in a self-directed IRA in silver and gold. But you really cannot take possession of it until you cash it out. So,
right.
If you can do it that way, fine. But if you're working for a company and they're going to allow you to put physical silver and gold in a 401k, you're never going to see it until you retire. And if the market collapses, before you're able to cash out, your hands are empty. You just as well have a roll of toilet paper. Your hands are empty. So don't put your faith and credit in the market or a 401k or anything. Use it wisely, but understand when the market goes away, everything's gone. It doesn't matter what you have on paper, what the market does or doesn't do. I liken it to a poker game at somebody's kitchen table, and all the people that are running the game are playing, and you come up and say, "Hey, can I get in?" Like an old Western movie. "Hey, can I play a hand?" "Sure, sit down, son." And all the big shots, the sheriff, the mayor, the judge, are all playing poker, and they may let you win a couple hands, but when it's all said and done and all the money's in, the game's over and someone's got all the money, what are we going to do next week, boys? Well, we'll start it up again. We'll play. We got all their gold, so we'll play for poker chips, fiat money, and we'll start the game over. And when that collapses, well, we all need strike anywhere matches so we can strike our boot and light our cigarette. So we'll play for matches. It's a game, folks. It's a money game, and somebody's going to win, and it's not going to be you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the call, John. We appreciate it. Yeah, I've never participated in the stock market myself. I've had opportunities like everybody, but it's just never been my thing, and it never has been. And I know people who've done okay with the stock market. One of my team sergeant in Special Forces, he was a stock market investor, and he would buy really stable, well-known companies like Coca-Cola, for example, and just hold on to it for years and years and years, collecting the dividends. Coca-Cola is known to have paid a dividend every quarter for something like 100-something years.
Right.
And there's things like that, and it's just a different mindset as to how to invest for the long term using investments that have been known to have that kind of reputation. There's a few of them out there. Here's our bottom of the hour, or no, not bottom of the hour, but here's a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you spiritually and mentally armed and ready for the battle ahead? Don't miss Hear the Watchman Dallas 2018, March 23rd through the 25th at the Hilton Dallas Fort Worth Lakes Executive Conference Center. Join the remnant body of Christ at this powerful, life-changing event. Activate your faith and join 18 prophetic teachers of truth, including L.A. Marzulli, Pastor Paul Begley, Dr. Don and Mary Colbert, along with this year's special guest, prophetic prayer walker Henry Groover. The time is now to gain ground and make history as we approach turbulent times. Get baptized, get trained, be freed of strongholds that bind you. You will be empowered, you will be blessed. This could be the most important weekend of your life. Join God's Army in 2018. Visit HearTheWatchman.com to reserve your seat today. This event will sell out. Go to HearTheWatchman.com and make your reservation. And in the end, Jesus wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. It's taken 3 years before I could offer the inter-shelter domes for sale. During those 3 years, several different governments and militaries were taking all their production. The inter-shelter dome homes may be just what you've been looking for to provide affordable, energy-efficient, permanent, and attractive housing. These dome homes are prefabricated units that can be assembled in a few hours by 2 men with a ladder and simple hand tools. Check out the photos of these dome homes built in the Arctic, on tropical beaches, in suburban areas, and in forests. All the details, many photographs, and the pricing of the dome homes are listed on the left-hand side of my homepage at thelibertyman.com. I think you'll find these homes are not only attractive, but they're energy efficient, and a bonus. You can disassemble them and reassemble them as many times as you feel you need to. Pretty great, huh? Something that's very, very unique. Check them out at my website at thelibertyman.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th of February. Tim, your website, ruralsurvival.info, has hundreds and hundreds of articles that would help people that want to have a hobby farm, grow tomatoes on the porch of their apartment, anything related to agriculture and hobby farms. You're going to find it there, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much you are. Not to mention, we've literally got, 300 or 400, I would say. That's a guess, not a count, of free downloads of PDF documents. They're just there for the taking on all kinds of subjects.
Right, right.
So,
and your website has been the beginning point for Steve Whitman's writing career, which has really taken off and going like gangbusters. And
you're not kidding.
Absolutely. And that could happen to anybody. They start out not knowing or thinking they have any talent or skill for writing, and next thing you know, they're publishing books, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, Steve is, I think he's on book number 7 now. And it all started with an article he wrote for Rural Survival about, I think that first article is what he based his first book off of, Winning Life Lottery.
Well, I was encouraging him to write that, and he did write it, and that was the beginning point. It's been a marvelous thing. So check out ruralsurvival.info, everybody. You'll find something there you like, and you never know, it may lead into a whole new career like it did for Steve Whitman. We got a caller on hold here. We got John in Texas. Good morning, John.
Hello, I have a question for you. What is you see prospectively for precious metals in the next 5 years? Also, what is your would be the effect of possibly deconstructing the banking system from fractional reserves base to a full reserve banking base?
Well, prognosticating the events that are going to take place in the next 5 years is beyond my expertise.
I mean, Spencer, Mr. Spencer, what is going on right now in metals?
Well, right now I think in silver, at least, you're seeing the calm before the storm. This is my opinion and several other people's opinion. I think silver is where you're going to see the biggest gain by percentage, not dollar amount, but by percentage. In other words, return on investment. The reason I say that is because the industrial demand for silver remains, and just think it's going to do nothing but get greater and greater. That's my personal opinion. Gold will always retain its value. So that's a place to put your money, in my opinion, just to keep it safe. as a hedge against inflation. And I do think inflation is really going to go places. And as far as the world central banks going off of fractional reserve banking, I don't think that's going to happen until they crash and die. And I can't say when that's going to be. We know it's going to happen. It's mathematically impossible for it not to happen. The only question is when. So I would, if I was you, John, I'd prepare now like it was going to happen tomorrow, and then you don't have to worry about the when.
I do have several ounces, a few pounds of silver, plus about 5 ounces of gold. But should I convert the gold to silver?
Buddy, I can't tell you to do that or not do that. That's up to you. The only thing I'm going to do is give you my opinion. But what you do with your, possessions is up to you. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't give financial advice. I'm not being a smartass. I'm just, there's some things I can say and some things I can't.
The reason I ask about fractional reserve banking is because one of the things that Milton Friedman said shortly before he died was that that one of the things that would need to be done to reform the financial system and overhaul it for the better would be to abolish fractional reserve lending and go over to a full reserve system with checking accounts being financed through through what is it from service fees and loans being made purely out of time deposits, loaned out and with withdrawal penalties, with mandated no withdrawal over certain accounting periods, so as to maintain a stability of money supply, so that banks cannot create money out of whole cloth.
Well, that would be good, but nobody listening to this show has anything ability to do anything about that, John. It's a great concept. We thank you for your call. We got a break. We'll be back after the break.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We're continuing our energy cleaner promotion, which began August of 2016. In this promotion, you get to buy an energy cleaner, $70 off retail, and a mattress pad, 10% off retail. $200 of the purchase price of the energy cleaner goes to Republic Broadcasting. This is a great way to help get energy cleaners out to people who need them and have some financial issues to deal with. And, of course, a great way to support Republic Broadcasting. Here's what you do. Send in a postcard. My address is John Moore, P.O. Box 201, Davidsville, Missouri. We pick a postcard every 2 weeks. If your postcard is drawn, you get the chance to buy the energy cleaner, $70 off retail, and 10% off the mattress pads. Put your name and your address, your telephone number, and your email address on the postcard, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th of February. If you go to my website at thelibertyman.com, you scroll down the middle of my homepage, you'll see the banner for the Dallas event, the Hear the Watchman Conference in Dallas. I'll be the keynote speaker there. Just recorded a interview with the leader of the conference yesterday. If you click on that banner, you can use the code there, the promotional code, to get $20 off the conference rate, or if you can't go, 20% off the live stream rate to watch the video live. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing a lot of you there. Of course, also my website is the Energy Cleaner. We talked for 24 minutes last hour about the Energy Cleaner. It's a marvelous healing device. What are you waiting for? You tired of that joint pain, that arthritis pain? What are you waiting for? Get yourself an Energy Cleaner, mitigate the pain, and get on with your life. Not getting a great night's sleep, taking prescription pharmaceutical products to sleep, you know that's not good. The Energy Cleaner can cause no harm. It will help you get that good night's sleep. Only $285 shipping included, and yes, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee on Energy Cleaner. The mattress pads, I've got everything in stock, ready for immediate shipment. Twin size, full, queen, king, California king. Everything's in stock, ready for immediate shipment. All the details at my website at thelibertyman.com, where you can use PayPal, the most secure way to make any payment online, MasterCard, Visa. Toll-free hour line, 24 hours a day. Here it is, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. Visiting with Tim Spencer with ruralsurvival.info. And Tim, we got another caller on hold here. We got John in Missouri. Good morning, John. Hello, John.
Investment I ever made.
Okay, now we got you. Now we got you. Go ahead.
You were talking about investments. The best investment I ever made was buying my farm. My farm feeds me. I make a little bit of money. I'm in my 60s. The thought of building an empire has long gone. I just want to live a good life.
Right.
And
right.
A farm, no matter what size it is, will take good care of you if you take care of it.
You aren't kidding, John.
You know, cattle reproduce themselves every year. I've had stocks. What a bad idea that was. But
I hear you.
Well, you know, I'm being honest. You know, I've had them people tell me how much money I'm going to make, and I'm going to this, and I'm going to that, and it ain't true. You know, maybe some people did good. I didn't. I did very poorly.
Well,
so
it's a mixed bag. I've known people who've done fine. I've known people who didn't do worth a darn. So,
well, my farm. I'm not the greatest farmer there ever was, but I have cattle and I have a garden. And when we go to the grocery store, we just buy the coffee, sugar. I can't grow sugar. I can't grow citrus, but I eat non-GMO meat and.
Right.
Life's good. And I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Okay, thanks for the call, John. We appreciate it. Call number's 800-313-9443. And Tim, I once heard that a farmer was asked, what would you do if you were given $1 million? And the farmer responded, I'd farm until it was all gone.
Oh, I understand completely.
You never heard that before?
No, I'd never heard it, but I've never heard a truer statement either.
Yep. Well, there's lots of ways. I was visiting one of my farmer friends here in the neighborhood yesterday, and it's farming is you have to be really bright to be a farmer. First of all, resourceful, creative, figuring ways to accomplish things without spending money.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. It's hard work. It's long hours outside, and everything from 10 below to 110 above. But it's a very gratifying and healthy way to live. I know in my neighborhood, I've got there's men in their early to mid 80s who are still out there ranching and farming every day. Granted, they can't work as hard as they could 2 or 3 decades ago, but they're still out there doing their thing, being cattle ranchers.
Right.
And it's a good way. It's a good life. It's a healthy life, isn't it?
It is. It is, John. And like you said, gratifying. It is so gratifying. You know, I once in a while mention my trip to Florida here 2 or 3, 4 years ago, and how I was absolutely amazed how for the slightest little electrical or plumbing problem, people have to call somebody to take care of it. You
Right.
know, us calling a plumber or an electrician or anybody along those lines, or even a carpenter, is the farthest things from our minds. I can't imagine any case where we need to do that. It's just not something we do. We handle it. Whatever it is, we handle it.
Now, some things have changed. These new tractors that are being sold, they're so complex that the owners can no longer service them. But up until that point, it was a matter of pride to be able to do it yourself, and a matter of humiliation if you couldn't.
Well, everybody I know buys the older tractors. I only know one man, in fact, you're related to him, that has bought a new tractor that I know of in the past 20 years. Everybody that I know specifically looks for tractors that they can work on.
Right.
Buys the new tractors.
Right. Well, hopefully the tractor manufacturers will figure this out and manufacture tractors that are user-friendly and can be serviced out on the farm without having to drag them back to the dealer.
Because I can't see, there are tractor repair places, okay? But most of them want $1,000 just to drag the tractor in the door.
Good grief.
Depending if it's, especially if it's a transmission problem.
Yeah.
Or a hydraulics problem.
Yep.
They want $1,000 just to start looking at it. And nobody I know can afford that, John. And therefore, you make it work yourself. And if it becomes too expensive of a repair bill, then you junk that tractor and go buy another used tractor for $4,000 or $5,000 and go again.
Absolutely. Yep. Did you ever get that old tractor out of your garage? It's been there forever, by the way.
No, I never have, John. Between the heart attacks and everything else, no, I have not. But I'm going to drag it out and junk it.
Okay, I just wondered because I know it's been an issue, and there were some parts that no longer available. And we looked at, I know I referred you to one of my fabricator friends, and we just couldn't get it done, could we?
No, and now it's sat so long, it's just not worth messing with anymore.
Oh well,
So,
well, get it out and scrap it and move on down the road.
that's exactly what I'm doing. I'll go looking for another one this summer.
Yep. Same model, basically?
No, I think I'm going to go a little bit newer. That one sitting in the garage is 70 years old.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go something that, 30, 40-year-old range.
You're getting pretty upscale there, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's one of my neighbors has, I think, 13 tractors. None of them have electronics. I think none of them have electronics. He doesn't want anything with electronics on it. And I believe almost all of them run. I think there's one or two that are still waiting to get serviced. But I believe all of them run.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they got a ranch that's been in the family since before the Civil War, and they intend to stay in the family for many decades to the future.
At least with the tax bill that Trump passed, now they don't have to pay that death tax, for giving your farm to the kids. That's the good thing. We're losing so many family farms because, here's a guy with 3 sections and, 5,000 head of cattle running on it. Or 500, not 5,000, 500 head of cattle. Guy dies, leaves it to his son. Son can't handle the farm because he's got to come up with a few $100,000 to pay the IRS.
Right.
So at least that's done away with now.
That's been easily circumvented for forever with trusts. That's really a non-issue.
Well, most of the people that got burned with that were people that just didn't know.
Well, I'm always amazed at things that people don't know, such as someone who would contract to build a house with a contractor and not have blueprints drawn up. It's
that's incredible.
It is, and I met this man and his wife. He's a retired pastor, pushing 78, 79 years old, and I asked him. I said, "Show me the blueprints," and he pulls out a floor plan, and I said, "Those aren't blueprints. Where's the blueprints?" He says, "That's all I got," and it can be pretty shocking the lack of knowledge that we take for granted, right?
Yeah. Well, even when I built this house, John, in 92 or 93, whatever year it was, I think 93, here where there's no regulations, no building codes, no nothing, I still paid, I think it was at the time, $600 for blueprints for the house I built because I knew how important it was.
Oh,
in fact, we still got them.
It's not optional. If something, if the contractor screws up, you're going to be filing a lawsuit based on not conforming to the specifications in the blueprint. But if there are none, how could you even sue the guy?
You can't. Now we made modifications to those blueprints. I made changes, Horry made changes, but still there were blueprints.
Right. Well, it has to be documented, obviously. And once it is, it's you're good to go. Pretty amazing.
It is.
It is, absolutely. Well, live and learn. People sometimes get involved in things. They think they know what they're doing, and they don't, and they pay a dear price for it, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, John. I've made that mistake myself a few times. Usually they weren't very costly mistakes, but the mistakes that cost you a little bit are the ones you remember.
That's right. Pain is a great teacher.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
But as far as self-sufficiency in having a farm, I mean, in this economy, even though it is getting better, if you're going to have a farm, you better know how to do stuff yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to go broke. It's that simple. There's such a fine margin on the money you can make on a farm, vice what you have to spend out. So, self-sufficiency is either a sink or swim type thing in farming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, farmers are well known, well respected to have multiple skills, and be very creative, be hard workers, and get things done. That's basically what farmers do. They get things done. They're used to overcoming obstacles, working alone most of the time. And yes, if you got a farmer for a friend, you've got a real treasure there, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's one other piece of advice for people that aren't in farming, that have friends or acquaintances or people in business that are farmers. If you want to make a farmer mad, tell him why he can't do something. Don't ever tell a farmer why he can't do something. Give him reasons why he can. Don't tell him he can't, because he will prove you wrong with a vengeance.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Well, to segue back to ruralsurvival.info. I know you've got a lot of things going on there. If somebody wants to become a published author, they can submit the article to you, and you'll do some editing for grammar and punctuation and so forth, and you'll probably go ahead and publish it, won't you?
Yeah, and the best way to do that is contact me by email. Excuse me, I'm sorry. office@ruralsurvival.info, office@ruralsurvival.info, and we'll talk. We'll see what we can do. I'm not desperate for writers, but I sure will take them. And we try to add something new to the site all the time. It's not really a site with new content all the time. It's more of a reference site than anything, John. It's something that's always there that people can go and look up stuff. But yeah, when we have a chance to add to it, we do.
Well, that's good to know, and I encourage people to go to ruralsurvival.info on a regular basis. There's always going to be new articles published there, and if you have any interest at all in agriculture and a hobby farm, it's a great place to start that quest for knowledge, isn't it?
It is. And it might give people an idea of what they're getting into. Now, I've been reading some articles recently about some of these young college kids that have actually started, what I call white-collar careers and have decided that they can do much better doing micro-gardening, farming, market gardens, stuff like that. In fact, our friend Rick in Missouri was on our show, I think it was last Saturday, it might have been the Saturday before, mentioning how a guy had a half acre and was making $100,000 a year off of it, growing specialty organic stuff for restaurants. I know it can be done. I'm going to learn more about it.
Right. Well, there's different variations of that, truck farms and greenhouses and specialties.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be done. It takes work. It takes diligence. It's going to take some capital, obviously. And, yes, it can be done. Absolutely.
Right. As long as you have the market for it. That's the biggie, is location. I think the person that Rick was talking about is out in Oregon or Washington State, where there's lots of money and lots of people with money they want to spend on organic stuff, vice a place like this where people are scraping to get by. So, places like this where hunting is not just a way of life and a sport, it's what you do to eat.
Right. Well, I learned that when I spent summers with my grandparents. If I shot a squirrel that day, we had fresh meat that evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's the way it was.
Exactly.
Here's our break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 8th day of February. Will be March in 3 weeks. How about that?
Wow.
Yep. The 1st of March is 3 weeks from today. It's a fast-moving world. Things changing very quickly. Hard to keep up with the technology. I've made some attempts with limited success.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and youngsters growing up with this, the changes come to them naturally because it's just been all they've known is this fast-changing world, fast-changing technology, and that's simply the way it is. But we keep on top of it. We learn what we need to learn, and we move forward, don't we, Tim?
Yeah, we do. Hey, John, is it okay if I plug my show real quick?
Please do. I want you to do that. Yes.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lori, my wife, and I have the Rural Survival Show on RBN on Saturdays from 10 a.m. Central till noon Central. Our normal format is what we call Caller's Choice. Callers call in and talk about whatever they want to. We focus a lot on gardening, a little bit on politics, occasionally even religion. So, just a myriad of subjects. We can talk about anything from repairing chainsaws to, best time to put in carrots, you name it. And we have a lot of fun. It reminds you about probably of sitting around Old Country Store in front of the wood stove and, neighbors sitting around and talking. And that's the way we try to keep it. And we have a blast doing it. And I invite you to tune in and call in.
All right. Well, good. I hope people can do that. It's a fun show, and I think you'll all enjoy it. Okay. Well, any final word for all those energy cleaner procrastinators out there that haven't got their lives back yet, Tim?
Well, same thing I said last hour, buddy. They're only hurting themselves. Folks, if you're procrastinating, you're the only one you're hurting. You ain't hurting John or me or Tom. So, what can I say?
All right. Well,
get it as soon as you can.
If money's an issue, make it a priority. If it's a priority, it will happen, won't it, Tim?
Yeah, it will. And if you live in the U.S., PayPal takes payments. I think they do a quick online credit check of you, but it doesn't cost nothing or affect your credit score.
Right.
So,
right.
If you're getting just the energy cleaner, I think it comes out to about $50 a month over a 6-month period.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the mattress pad would add a little bit to that, but that's what most people are doing these days. They're getting the mattress pad along with the energy cleaner right at the get-go. And that's really the way to do it, isn't it, Tim?
It is. Because that screen thing, it works, but doggone it, you're always changing it, and it, no matter how well you tape up the edges, it's still going to wind up being uncomfortable and poking you and everything else, and I hear the music.
There we are. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay,
enjoyed
that's it for today. Get your medical supplies and energy cleaner, essential oils now while you can, your firearms ammunition. Never, ever give up your guns. Please do have a fun, safe, productive day. And God bless America.